Hello again. I'm here to present a little bit about trusts and trust law. I'm going to just chat a little bit about how to organise a trust in respect that it is recognised by law. And the law form of trusts, as we've spoken about, is in trust law, or commonly known as equity. And the formation of a trust has certain parties involved in a trust, which is the relationship between persons. Now, obviously, there's the whole dogma about the artificial person or the fictional person. So I think it'd be very good to have a look at what the fictional person is. Well, the fictional person is a registered body to the state of the nation, or to the country, if you like. So we have a registered body, which may be an association between members and has become a company, and that company may be headed by directors, secretaries, executive body, and the arms of the company may stretch out in different fields of trade and commerce. So the idea of artificial person or fictional person is indeed fictional, and when we think of how the wording is set up, we have a head of the corpse, a corpse being like a dead entity, which is also a person. When someone dies, they leave a corpse, so we have a head of a corpse. Then we have the main body, or the plant, if you like, which it can be a fact tree. In industry, which would be industry. So the tree is made from dust, and that is where the plant has come from. So it's borrowed from words from nature. And when we look at what the jurisdictions of the trust relationships may be between the bodies, then we can also see that it is again borrowed from natural law or universal law, in that people have bodies and they interact between each other, and then the corporate world is now mirroring these actions to favour themselves, so that they have a shield to operate in commerce. So for a trust relationship to be formed, there are certain criteria that trusts must have. Now, there are various types of relationships that may not be a trust. For example, a single relationship, you can be in relationship with yourself. You know, some people go and see maybe psychiatrist, hypnotist, doctor, and they say, you know, I'm not feeling good about myself. So there is a conflict of relationship to oneself in that respect. So that would be one single relationship. We sometimes hear people say, I can't trust myself, especially around chocolate or beer or women or something like that. Guilty as charged. And then we look at a two-person relationship where we have two people of, you know, they have ability and capability to make decisions for themselves. So this ability is termed as sentia, which is S-E-N-T-I-E-R, and comes from, or at least is used as sentient being, which means a being with soul, which is something that a corporate body or company does not have in its title. Which leads us to talk about titles, because titles in trust law represent fictional positions, and it gives people a method to understand the fictional positions within their relationships. So we look at a trust situation where maybe we have two people and one is offering a service to the other, but then what is the trust that one may have in the other in respect to carrying out that service. So he's going to lend his trust to this person, and the person then is going to act out his service of duty to the person who he's offering it to. Now, there may or may not be some benefit to them, because in the relationship, there may be a reason why the guy is offering to the next guy his services. For example, some people may lack ability to perform in different aspects. Say, perhaps they can't walk, or they only have one arm, or they don't have the opportunity to do such and such a thing, and there may be an interaction through mail where the guy who's offering a service actually lives nearer to something that he can offer to his friend, and his friend can say, well, if you would do that for me, that would be, fantastic. So that's a little bit of something about what a relationship and how a trust may form. So we've recognized the parties, which can be two parties. Now, what is the positions if the law is to recognize the relationship? Because whenever there's a liability, then law would be looking down on the relationship and would be effectively attempting to remedy any liability that there may be. So which law form is it falling under? Well, it wouldn't be perhaps, one law that would be outside of the body of law between the relationship, because there are many different laws, let's say, for example, banking law or statute law or the law of water. There are many different forms of law which you can find maybe on Wikipedia. So let's say that in this law form is trust law, and the kinds of the bracket that trust law sits in would be titled equity, and is not actually law itself, but equity is a law form called equity, which is, funny enough, not a law, but it means fairness and justice. So in the relationships that we have a guy who needs something from this other guy. So the two have come together, they've made an agreement, which we can see in contract law as a binding contract. One is offering his service to the other, and the other is giving something in consideration back. Now, in a trust, there may not necessarily be a need for the consideration to be of agreed equal value, which is something that will need to be in place in contract law. So there's a different law form